Hello guys, how are we doing today? I am Richard from the R&C Leather Lounge. She's not ready. You see? Here I go, you see, that's the ADHD. Quick as a flash, and we're on it. Pedaling away and going like crazy. So there you go. So this is episode 13, and I am Richard from the R&C Leather Lounge.
I'm Carolyn from the R&C Leather Lounge. And I'm still not ready.
And she's still not ready. So, okay guys, so today we're going to talk to you about scratches. Scratches on leather. So,
where else would they be?
Don't know, like, you know, scratches on here and stuff, and it just depends whether it's scratches with the nails in when you beat me with it when I'm a bad boy, and could be anything like that. So,
all sorts of scratches.
Yeah.
On skin.
Yeah. Scratches on skin. She can tell you about them.
It was we were going to do just a quick little recap or reminder of things that you should have been trained on already if you have been trained by us. Just quick scratches, how to touch them. Obviously it depends
Put your finger on them.
what kind of, just touch like that. Depends what kind of leather they're on, first of all. So if it's on a car seat, standard car seat, or a pigmented sofa, they are normally lovely and easy, aren't they?
Well, yeah, it depends how bad they are.
Yeah.
Depends how bad they are.
Sometimes you can get away without using any glue, any filler, anything. You just need a little bit of colour.
Heat and paint.
Little bit of colour, little bit of heat.
Yep.
And cocktail stick.
Yeah.
Or the end of a dental tool.
Dental tool, yeah. We use dental tools quite a fair bit.
Yeah, they're really handy for
especially
putting
pushing
the grain
them back down.
in. Yeah, you can
use.
You can get a blunt end on the dental things, the ones where they shove your fillings in with. Use that one to push. I'm trying to show you. Can't even see my hand really. To push the little sticky up bits back down. All these technical terms. The sticky up bits push down with the little whatnot.
Yeah.
And use the pointy end to recreate your grain back through. So you're not putting any filler in or anything like that. You're just rolling it through, really, the colour that you've already put on there. And it makes it look a lot more realistic.
And it helps to blend it away as well. So the thing is, the mistake people make with scratches or with any repair, scuff, scratch, or even a tiny hole, is they want to dollop this filler on.
Yeah, so it goes from being teeny weeny little line to being this big, and then oh no, I can see that, so they do it this big, and they can still see that, so they'll blend it to this big, and it's not blending at all, it's just getting big and big and big.
And it's getting more plasticky and plasticky and plasticky, because the thing is, the filler, because of the viscosity of the filler, is very dense material, and the grain on the surface. The thing is, what you've got to bear in mind is most leathers are only about a 1.5mm thickness anyway. An average car seat is probably 1.2 to 1.6. So as an average, probably about a 1.3. That is microscopically thin, guys. So when you've got, obviously, that's the whole thickness from top of the grain to the underside of where the sort of suede is. That's the whole thickness, about 1.3mm. 1.3mm is thin. It's thin like my hair. So obviously you've got to bear in mind that the grain that sits on the surface is very difficult to put it into perspective. It's about the same as like a sheet of writing paper, 80 grams writing paper. It is that thin. So if you can imagine putting filler on there, you're going to fill them very, very, very quickly. So you've got to bear that in mind. So less is always more with everything that we do. Now, the thing is, with any filler, it depends what type of leather that you're dealing with. When you get into things like your anilines, you come up against major, major problems. And we've had this discussion with technicians before in our group, where they can't quite understand why we can't put fillers in an aniline.
You just can't.
Well, you just can. But there's a very special way around doing it. But again, you've got to manage the customer's expectation, because if you don't manage the customer's expectation and take the customer on the journey and the story with what you're going to do to the leather to enable you to use those fillers, you've got a problem, because the thing is, then you are what?
Liable.
Yeah, there you go. So, because if you don't explain it properly, that you're going to change the sort of look or the touch of how the leather feels in that particular area. Because the thing is, if you're going to use fillers, what you've got to bear in mind is, it's like looking at a glass of water. That is your aniline dyes. They are translucent, so they're see-through. So if you've got a brown aniline dye and you're going to put a white filler in there, or even a brown filler, it's never going to be the same as... Because the thing is, the dye is translucent, guys, so you will always see the filler.
And the filler isn't an end product, so
No.
you can't just put filler on. Even if your filler was a perfect colour, you can't just put the filler on and be like, yeah, job done, finished,
No, exactly.
and disappear. You have to put the colour on.
You've got to put the colour over it.
You have to put a sealer on. So when you're talking aniline, the filler's always going to show through the colour, whether you're using the dyes or whether you're using
even the antique restorer creams. They're
still going to highlight that area really quite badly.
Obviously, you can disguise the fillers on an aniline. So again, less is more, guys. You've got to try to use less. So now, if you've got a scratch, a bit like a pigmented car seat, and it's on a couch, and you want to try to disguise that, you can use a little bit of paint. But what you don't want to do is be getting the paint. Say, for argument's sake, I don't know whether you can sort of see this sort of on my hand there. There's a line just there. So what you don't want to be doing is where this line is, and if that's a scratch on an aniline, you don't want to be getting paint over here and over here. You've got to keep it directly on this line, guys, this white line that goes up my hand. So you've got to try to get the paint on a toothpick, like Carolyn says, underneath every little pull and push that down. And the paint will actually glue those fibres back down in position.
I think
that is a good way around doing it.
It's a good way just to say to put it, you've got to put it in it.
Yeah, rather than
not
on it.
If it's on it, you can see it. If you're putting it in it,
then you're not going to see
it. You're not going to see it on the surface.
Exactly. So with the aniline, you've got to put it in it, like Carolyn says, because everything that you're doing, you've got to bear in mind, just remember, it's a glass of water. All the dyes, remember, they are see-through like a glass of water.
Yeah. It's like stained glass window.
Yeah, exactly.
It's coloured,
that's your exact analogy. It's a stained glass window. You can see through it. You can see that there's colour there, but you can see through it. So that is your analogy. Rather than using a glass of water, you're thinking, well, is everyone clear like liquid? No, obviously, stained glass window is the perfect analogy to sort of put into that perspective. So you've got to bear that in mind, guys. It's a very difficult one. You can obviously use the fillers on an aniline, but it comes with a huge amount of experience and testing and trying. Don't just
they've got to go in.
Yeah, don't just get a customer's item and think, right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put some filler in here, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to spray aniline over the top. No, do not, and I repeat, do not do that whatever you do, because you need to get some items that you can test to make sure that it's going to work for you. So you need to practice this. You need to obviously scratch some aniline leather, put some fillers in there. Again, keep the fillers to the repair that you're doing. And then get some aniline dye, put a small amount of pigmentation into the aniline dye, and you're going to blend away where the filler is. And you're going to slowly sort of put a dense amount of colour here, but then a less colour here and here. So you're going to like feather the colour out as you go. So it almost looks like you've got like a sort of dark patch staining to the aniline in that particular area, which is quite common with an aniline. It's just got a little bit of a dark patch in that area.
Yeah,
that's the way you're going to do it. It's never going to be easy.
Never going to be invisible. It's just going to be disguised. Your eye is going to be taken away from that, or people are going to assume it will look like a fault in the leather,
in
really.
effect,
It'll look like it's never going to look right. It won't look perfect, but it's going to not look repaired as such, but it's going to look like there is something.
It's going to look like there's something there.
Something not quite right with it, but
and you've got to manage the customer with that. That's the thing. You've got to take them on this journey, guys. And I know we go on about that and we repeat that. With our industry, it is crucial that the customer understands right from the beginning what the limitation is of what you're trying to achieve with fillers. What they're going to get. It's what they're going to get. It's what they're going to get. But what's the outcome? Show them the outcome. Now, many years ago, and I mean many years ago, when we first sort of formed and separated out Leather Repair Company from our detailing business, sort of like, I don't know, about 20 years ago or whatever it was, and we became Leather Repair Company as a company, we used to have these things that were about, I don't know, they must have been about 20 inches square. and they were just like a cheap piece of wood with an inch piece of foam, and we stretched different leather over the top of the foam and stapled it on the back. On each one of those, we would maybe have like a sort of like an aniline, pigmented, semi-aniline, that sort of thing. But we'd do different scratches on them, and we'd maybe have like a couple, we'd have like one of each. We'd have like one in aniline with a scratch on, an aniline with a cut in it, an aniline with a colour loss on it, and we'd sort of show them the 3 variants of what could be achieved, the stages. So they could see what a tear was going to look like on an aniline, they'd see what a scratch was going to look like on an aniline, and they would see what colour loss. Now with the scratch, we'd do like a bad scratch, and then we'd sort of do a really good repair, medium repair, and a really poor repair. Same with a tear repair. We'd do, put a tear in it, really good repair, medium tear repair, and a really poor repair on a tear. And then we'd show them the 3 sets of colour loss as well. And we'd show them the stages of the colour loss of how that would work and how we could sort of achieve that. Now you can go one step further and do graining and everything else if you need to, but so bear that in mind. You've got aniline, semi-aniline and pigmented. To be fair, aniline and pigmented, semi-aniline and pigmented, customer isn't really going to see a huge amount of difference, but you could go for something like aniline, pigmented, maybe two-tone, that sort of thing, two-tone rub-off, because that would be a good one to use. And have these boards with these different things on and just use them as like demo pieces.
Yeah.
So when you go to a customer's house, you plonk down the board and you're like, hello, Mrs. Jones, here's the board, take a look at that, that's how a scratch is going to look. And they're like, well, what's the differences here? Well, that's a really good repair, this is a medium, sort of average sort of repair, and then that's a really poor repair. Somewhere between those 3 is how we're going to get your leather to turn out. Well, can I have it really good? No, like I say, poor, good. In between those 3 sort of situations that you can see there, that's how your repair is going to turn out.
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea to try and remember to take photos. I know a lot of the technicians have always said to us, I got halfway through and I forgot to take a picture at the beginning.
Yeah.
But please, please, please try and get it into your head, try and get it into your routine. That even if you never post these pictures, but just for yourself, a tear that I've come across like this before, I know I can get that tear to look like that. You've got the proof you can get it to look like that because you've got the photographs on your phone. Keep them for your records, and then if you do need to show them to anybody, you can do. You don't have to post them to your socials. If you get a really great one, then post it to your socials. But just for reference, like if somebody's got a similar scenario to what you've done already, you can troll through, like you do it all the time. You're like, oh, hang on, got a picture of that.
Through it, and I'll troll through it. Yeah,
we could be there half an hour till he finds it because there's so many.
Yeah.
But we'll find it. We can show them a comparative repair then to something that's more realistic to what they've got in their house, car, whichever. So I think that's really helpful. And even if you're really, really, really organised, put them into, keep them in folders.
Yeah, customer's name on them, in the CRM.
Either that or keep them in folders of tear repairs on a car seat, tear repairs on a sofa, tear repair, scratch repair, recolour,
and put them all, create folders, on your phone and put them in folders.
So you can then easily find a similar tear repair you've done. You might not be able to remember the customer's name. I can't. Richard remembers everybody, but I don't. But I might be able to remember that actual damage. So I would put them in folders of what the damage was, and then for that particular customer, you can easily find something that was similar. And it's a bit more realistic than having the demo one, but the demo one works really well if you've got 2 kind of price structures. If you're saying you can have this one that's the top notch, that works well with, you can't really see protection, but it works well for things like that if they can choose what level of repair or protection that they want. Also works well to have, I'm going a bit off piste, but it works well to have 3 examples of the lacquer finish.
That's a good one. Yeah, we've got that as well.
On a piece of leather, so I have one that's, because some people are like, I really want it matte. I just want matte. Matte on its own is not desirable.
It's really flat matte.
People don't expect it to be as matte as it is. So if you can show them and prove to them that actually, yes, you can have matte, but I am going to put a few drops of gloss in it just to take it up a bit, then if you've got the proof there on a darker piece of leather works best. So all you need is 3 squares. Do it black, do it navy, whichever. Put the 3 different lacquers on, and then you can show them, do you want it between that one and that one, or that one and that one, or whichever. And that works really well as well.
Yep. We're going to do a video on that one on the lacquers, and we're going to show you the differences of what they look like, so you can sort of see them on the screen as well. So when you're sort of like emailing your client, you know, you can sort of manage your client's expectation properly and take them on that journey, guys.
So please remember, you can mix them. People forget you can mix them.
Yeah, you can mix them. So obviously with the fillers, just make sure that any filling work that you do, less is more. Do not go getting it on preceding areas. Try to keep it to the actual scratch itself, you know, and stay small with it and deal with it that way. Just bear in mind, obviously, things like two-tones, rub-off leathers and things, they're done with two-tone dyes. So again, those sort of things, they are a translucent dye. They're not as translucent as a pure aniline dye, but just bear in mind, again, those are translucent dyes. So there are limitations as to what you can do, but they are a little bit more forgiving than an aniline, because you can create darker patches, obviously, on the surface with your two-tone and your rub-off, you know, which allows you to sort of blend those repairs off perfectly and a lot easier. Suede, nubuck, no dyes, no fillers, end of, you know, forget it. You cannot do anything with them. You know, there's no, you can't do anything with them. You can't repair them. Yes, you can do a tear repair, but again, you've got to manage the client's expectation about the fact that the glue could seep through, because it's just totally absorbent all the way through. Just remember about that one as well. That, you know, that can happen. But I think that's about it, guys, really, for Scracthes. I hope it's useful. Please, we need to see your comments on these videos. We want your interaction. We are doing these for you. We put time aside to help you run and grow your business, and to sort of give you ideas, maybe to remind you of things in the process of what we do. You know, new ideas that we get as we come along, things that we think of as we're talking, that we sort of do, you know, in-house, you know, which happens quite a fair bit. We think of different things in our heads as we're sort of talking, what we've done over the years with repairs. But please please comment. Let's hear your feedback. I want to see your feedback. Don't forget the last video that we did. I'm still waiting for all of you to put your things up on that video. So I want to see them, because as yet, nobody has done it. So naughty people. Very, very simple. So there you go, guys. That was episode 13.
Send us a thumbs up.
Yeah, send us a thumbs up. So that was episode 13. It was about fillers.
13.
And 13. It was about fillers and scratches.
And essentially keeping the repair small as you can.
Yeah, so there you go. That's it. I am Richard from the RSC Leather Lounge.
I'm Carolyn from the RSC Leather Lounge.
And we will see you. Ta-da.
We will see you on number 14.